Heard me. Heard me. Oh, sorry.
That's all right, my darling. We are live. Today is the 3rd of March, 2019. We're in March already. On the panel today is Patricia, and we have Josh Stone, the lovely Josh Stone, the fourth Josh Stone the fourth Josh of the week.
This is the week of Joshes for you.
It is.
You have more Joshes after me, right?
No, I was saying to you that there's we know Josh Unity, and then there's Josh Uber.
Nice.
He's called what? He's called Josh. Oh, I forget what his second name is now, but he's known as Uber Josh.
What's
it's
he
just Josh. There's Joshes everywhere.
Yeah, I never want to see another Josh in my life. Only joking.
Oh, guess what? I'm all joshed out.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were just explaining. Obviously, I quite like your take on things in life, and the bit about vampires and stuff like that. Yeah, I understand a bit about photography. I myself have watched Enslaved by No Media, and I know he's a friend of yours. And not just that, you've done your own photography and things, experiments. So I'm with you on all that. There's a lot of stuff that I'm with you just right there, Josh. Except I don't have your lovely voice.
You have your lovely voice though, and what you do is you provide unity for people. That's what I love about what you do is your family. You kind of bring in kind of a little bit of everything from everywhere, from smaller channels to bigger channels and like everything in between. And you create a little safe zone for everybody to kind of just hang out and talk and get to know each other.
The family. As just saying, we're having this hangout on Wednesday with Mr. Thrive and Survive, and Josh wants to be on that one. So there you go. See, it helps us all being friends and stuff. But you wrote to me, didn't you, Josh? You said, "Look at this."
Did I send you something that's early on, like a while ago?
I like this man. That's what I thought. Yeah, you do.
Yeah,
we must have been Facebook friends anyway, but you just messaged me, I don't know, 4 months ago, whatever it was, and you said, "Look at this." And since that, you've been part of the family.
I mean, I've been watching your show for way before I even started making videos, so I've been a fan anyway. So as I got more into making videos and a little more confident with it, and I finally kind of maybe it was like, I don't recall exactly, but I was probably in the frame of mind like, oh, she might like this one, so I'll send her this one. Like I finally built up the courage to send you a video because I've been a fan. So.
Oh, Josh, well, I'm a fan of yours now.
She's not that scary, once you get to know Karen.
I was never scared.
She's a little pussycat, really.
It depends. I am 99% of the time until you really, really, really upset me, and I turn into a tiger cat. But I think that's the same for everybody, isn't it? Really, when you get that push.
Yeah.
But
those are the people you want on your side.
Except for Patricia. Patricia's always really calm. I think I've only heard her raise her voice a couple of times. And the amount of hours we've spoken, and she was probably at me going, "Shut up, Karen."
No, you just got it in the neck for somebody else, so Karen. That's how it happens. I can't attack the person that said it. I just get a bit irate, and then you just happen to ring me, and I'm like, "What did you say?" And I just take it out on you. It's not you, Karen. It's just how I was feeling about someone else. I took it out on you. But anyway,
on me, she's lovely.
You just got the brunt of it. No, what? Can I just say something before you two start getting to whatever you're talking about tonight is me and Karen. Oh, sorry, Karen and I. Is that the way to say it? Oh, anyway, where you were saying about this group is bringing people together. We're doing tell your story. So we're getting all the people in the chat room to either, you know, get in touch with us with their story. So, because the people in the chat room, well, everyone has got a story somewhere. And it's just another way of bringing the people and us together, you know, to get to know one another. How are we going to ever get to know someone without asking them stuff about themselves?
So true.
So anyway,
yeah, we're a bit more into just having sort of like the bigger channels on. We're a bit more into the people. And along the way, in some of those bigger channels, we've made really good friends, like Mr. Thrive and Survive's a really good friend now, speak to him all the time. But I mean, generally, this is about the people. And Josh, you're one of the people.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, so that's what Patricia, it's a bit of Patricia's, well, we were talking about it, but Patricia, would like to do that. We're supposed to do a little sort of video for it, aren't we, Patricia, to explain it a bit better? She's muted herself now. Anyway, we'll come back.
Sorry. Yeah,
we'll come back to that another day. But we will.
Yeah, go on, you carry on then.
Sorry, Patricia. No, it's great. You said something. Everybody, did you hear Patricia spoke? Thanks, Patricia.
Yeah, I haven't heard her talk a lot.
I'm going to get sick of that. They're going to get sick of you saying that, Karen. It's like, yes, we've heard her.
No, I hear Patricia all the time, but the chat room, some people go, I've never heard Patricia say anything. But she is there.
I've barely ever heard her say anything. So I'm happy to hear
I'm just an icon. I'm just an icon. I'm just a cushion.
You're more than that for me, Patricia. You're more than a cushion to me.
I'm your rock art,
Yeah, you are, actually. Yeah. Just to see me through the thick and thin.
Gosh. Anyway, I'm going to shut up and let you carry on.
I was actually thinking about you, Patricia. I was thinking about your icon. Believe it or not, when I was thinking earlier in the week about us having this chat, and I was like, I hope she's there, because that is this like other thread of positive that's kind of always with Karen, and I think it's a nice thing.
Yeah, look, she's my heart.
Yeah, I think it's cool that you guys do this together. And
it says on there, no compliance. And what's the other one? It's what the word it says on there, Patricia?
Clear the fear.
Clear the fear, and what is it? No compliance.
Yeah. And that's my heart. I actually made that heart, and I want everyone to see that that's my heart from me to everyone else.
Oh,
nice,
lovely, Patricia, and it's a lovely heart too.
Bit spotty.
Anyway, bit spotty, bit flowery.
When you look from a distance, it looks spotty, but it's not. It's flowers. Flowers, peace, and love. That sounds so cliche.
So that's what some of us want, through the minefield. And Josh is one of those people like you, Josh, through the minefield.
Yeah, I'm definitely stepping through the minefield right now. Yeah, that's okay though.
Yeah, getting deep. It's getting deep, isn't it, Josh?
Well, it's like the further you go with it, the more you realize that, okay, I'm taking these steps willingly, you know, so like kind of whatever pushback you get, you almost have to like say, well, I'm putting the stuff out there, so you can't complain if you're going to get pushback. I mean, because you also get positive stuff that comes in, so you focus on the positive and try to ignore the negative as much as possible. I think sometimes it's okay to respond to the negative in a positive way, to let them know that, like, hey, I appreciate your point of view. Maybe some of you are just trolls. Some of you are just maybe paid to come in there and cause a ruckus. But I think maybe there's some people who genuinely just disagree with you, and that's okay. That's fine. I reserve the right to agree and disagree with anybody too. So why not? You know, and if you're putting content out, you have to expect positive and negative, and it's kind of like how you respond to that. And I think it even kind of plays into, Karen, like you might kind of know what I mean? Is it plays into maybe where you want to go with the next video or what content you want to put out next.
Yeah, you know, like I did this bit on I started off by wanting to do just one thing. I started off with looking at the tour at Glastonbury and something else, and by the end of it I made 4 videos, one about castles, one about Donington Castle up the road is the Star Fort one, and then it just went on like that. Yes, I understand. One leads to the other. Can I just say one thing quickly, just for anybody that was there last night? I just forgot to say this. Everybody saw the other Josh. He showed the link, so I had to end the hangout. But when we finished, his brother said he had to go shortly, so we're just going to reschedule it, and they're going to both come back on in a few weeks' time, and we're going to do it again. And Josh isn't to show the link. Not you, Josh, the other Josh. But anyway, yeah, it all leads on one thing onto another, like, and it doesn't stop. Does it? Hello?
You talking to me? Yeah.
I am talking to you.
Yeah, it doesn't stop. It doesn't stop because maybe we keep it going. I think it's because we care about truth and we care about talking about it with other people and maybe even talking about it for our own selves to question our.
And sometimes you use your own music, don't you? Oh, sorry, my messages are coming. And you sometimes use your own music, don't you?
I a little bit. I try to interject some of the music that I've made and kind of like play that into the flow of things because even like making videos to me is like writing songs.
Okay, Josh, I just thought if people don't know who you are in the channel, do you want to explain a little bit about what your channel does? What is on your channel?
I talk a lot about free energy and how I see this world as being a place where humans have been breeded to be manufactured in a sense, to be harvested for our energy and our resources. And so that's a lot of the content on mine. And then I branch out into other subjects like our true history about mud fossils and what our rocks are. And then even into talking about even kind of government stuff and words and spells and magic and space. I get into the stars and the moon and kind of what I think they are, being the schematics for all of our technology hidden right in the stars because they never change. All the constellations are always the same. And I think if you're a creator and you're going to want to put a blueprint for all the technology and energy that the world that you've created needs to be self-sufficient, you're going to put it right up in the sky, right where you can read it. And I think our constellations are misdirection to hide the fact that our stars are schematics. So I talk about that and
cameras.
I get into more recently into the perception, what perception is and our perspective through our cameras and our eyes and how we're kind of misled into perceiving what distance, speed, size is. It kind of in the flat Earth community, what is talked about more than anything is the shape. And I've more recently started thinking more about size instead of shape and what the size of it is, and kind of so experimenting with filming planes flying and filming cars flying and comparing speeds and distances, and it's trippy. It takes a little bit of time to. It took me some time to wrap my head around it.
Yeah, because you've got to know that you're explaining it back properly, don't you? I mean, I know you're saying you put it out there all for you, but you're trying to give a message. So you've got to think about it. When I do something, I've been thinking about it for a while, and then I sit there and I just go for it on the month. I just go for it. I don't script it. Like I talk it.
That's what I do too. like 99% of the time, nothing's scripted, and I'll wait until, okay, okay, I'm kind of seeing the big picture of what's going on, but I don't know how to tell that all in one big video. So I'll break it down into kind of like a 2.5-minute little thing that, okay, I'm just going to put this little section of,
well, actually, Josh, it's 2.5 minutes for them, but it's about 25 hours for you.
Yeah. And it's like songwriting. It's like, so like, this is like kind of like the verse, and then I'm going to write the bridge, and that'll be the next video. And then the chorus will be kind of like maybe those 2 videos together with another video. And I try to combine videos and try to communicate how I'm seeing it through the video and through the art and through the footage. I try to get most of the stuff. I try to get my own footage with my own camera.
I like the way on that video that I used for the trailer when you're explaining about how turbines work, when you were standing just by the water. So the water came over. Explain that, because that was brilliant. Explain it to the...
That was such a cool moment. I was out with my daughter, and we were just, I go on hikes all the time, and we were just out on a hike, and I always bring my camera because you kind of never know how you're going to come across things that you're going to be able to relate to the other things that is going on in your mind. And I'm always looking at rivers and thinking about this river that lives by me, and it travels in various directions. And so that river has always had me thinking. So I'm always filming it and trying to get to know it. And yeah, so I was out with a walk with my daughter, and I'm realizing this waterfall. Here's this energy from this waterfall, and right above the waterfall, you could see the water, and it was resonating. So you have that resonance of a turbine, and then which produces the energy, which is the waterfall. And then finally at the bottom of the waterfall, where all the water collects, it creates, it creates, God, I'm getting messages. Okay. It creates, like all the foam, all the big white foam that you're going to see. And so there's your kind of like, I'm not going to say the word, because if I do, you're going to get tagged with one of those banners, but it creates what the planes the exhaust that would come out of a plane.
You're allowed to say that word either now.
Yeah. If I even say that word, my video gets one of those banners at the bottom. Which is just funny, because they're always trying to. That's what YouTube's doing right now. They're using perception. They're trying to control people's perception of what what people are putting out, content like me or you that we feel is real, and YouTube is trying to get in there. And so when somebody first sees that video, they're going to see that banner. So all of a sudden, they just started to control your perception of what you're going to see when you watch that video. And that's what some of the trolls do in the comments. They leave certain comments that are going to control the perception of not even the content of the video, but me. They tried to make me look, whatever. So it's all about controlling perception. A lot of this is about perception. I'm finding.
Yeah, well, I kind of worked out. I think this is what I feel YouTube have done. They've changed the algorithms, so it's a bit like you've got the trains running and everything like that down the tracks, and then they've got this side thing where all these little carriages and that are sitting quietly on that, doing that. That's what they've done. They've put us into a side bit so that we're not picking up passing, not trade, but passing people, passing viewers. And that's what they've done, I think.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And that gets in,
so unless you know that Josh Stone exists, you put flat earthing, you're not going to see it. Whereas really, he's probably got flat earth in his tags or something. You should be able to find him, but you won't.
Yeah. Well, I don't even you can put tags on a video when you share it. I very rarely put any tags anymore. I figure it's kind of pointless. So I just share it kind of naked. Like,
do you?
I don't put a bunch of tags or anything like that.
Tags sometimes help you get places, don't they? Otherwise, there's no point having them, is there?
Yeah, but I also I think about that, but then I also think I kind of want the people that find me to find me almost on accident, or like it was kind of supposed to happen. I'm not trying to reach masses of people all at once. I'd like to find people that I can connect with kind of slowly, and if it's 2 or 3 a week that come in, like that might sub to my channel and check it out and see what's going on, and then uh, you know, like I'm more interested in making like real connection with people that might
What,
want to.
like you have with us, you mean, Josh?
I'm sorry.
Like you have with us?
Yeah. It's just the simple, easy connection I'm interested in, and and then trying to put out cool stuff, like trying to kind of like make it kind of cool too, and kind of a
Yeah,
little
you're a little bit. You're quite unique,
a
and you
little,
use the word vampire quite a lot.
yeah, the vampires that run us.
Yeah, talk a bit about that, Josh.
Yeah, it's some of it's metaphorical and some of it isn't. I'm half and half on how I feel about vampires. I mean, I'm a believer that that there's all kinds of other entities that live amongst us that are in other realms. So why not vampires? And and then some of it's metaphorical in the sense that how humans are towards each other, and the ones that are have been given access to the kind of the ancient knowledge of everything, how they're harvesting us like a vampire would, we're their host, and they don't want to kill us off. They don't want to poison us, because if they do that, they kill off their host. And that's what a vampire does. It'll suck you almost to death, but it won't kill you, so that it has a food source for the next night, so it can keep harvesting you. And so it's going to nurture you. And so that's what they do. They
vampire us and make money out of us. It's horrible, isn't it?
And they nurture us. They keep us just well enough to keep harvesting us, but don't let us get strong enough to take over. So they keep us weak mentally, physically, and metaphysically. They keep us kind of in a vibration, and that all starts at birth, when we come out of the womb and we're docked, and they inject all kinds of fluids into us right off the bat, just to immediately start us off in the wrong vibration. And we grow up in that, and then we're indoctrinated through the schools systems. Our perceptions are controlled there. And then outside of that, if you go outside of the box like us, you're just deemed crazy, right? For thinking differently. But even though we're not crazy, we're just talking and thinking about stuff. And
we're not crazy. We're the ones thinking and looking into it.
Right.
We're the ones thinking. And you know that's the thing, see, Josh, you're thinking. And a lot of people are just being robots, or don't even know why they're doing it. They're just doing it like everyone else.
Yeah. And that's why I never look, I don't look at people who aren't awake in a negative way, because I might not have been as awake as I was now years ago. So I don't carry around kind of like this like anger towards people who aren't awake. I think a lot of people do, and that's kind of not my thing. I'm kind of like, it's cool. However you see stuff is how you see it, and like, if we can just get along and disagree, I'm happy with that. I'm happy to have friendships where you can completely disagree.
As well, it is like you said, when you take your camera out. I'm not saying I'm perfect all the time, but most of the time I don't, like before I used to just go shopping and do all those. Now I'm like, wherever I am, I'm thinking, there's the sun, there's that.
Yeah.
Look at that. Well, there's the moon. Look at the moon. It's in the day and it's going really slowly.
Yeah.
So there's all this other stuff. And that's why you've got your camera with you, isn't it? Because you think, hey, I want to film that bit. Hey, there's another video.
Yeah, you're like, all of a sudden you start to realize this is actually what we're supposed to be paying attention to as human beings. We're not paying attention to it because like, oh, we got to prove something. It's like, it has my genuine interest beyond the stuff that's like just kind of like set in place for us to pay attention to, you know, through advertising and all the colors that they use and symbolism. That's all to keep our minds off of the stuff that we might get something out of if we're paying attention to, like the stars and the moon and stuff like that. So yeah, like if I leave the house or whatever, I'm always thinking, what camera should I just leave my one camera here? I always have my iPhone charged, so I'm ready. I'm at least ready with that. And, yeah, I'm always like, yeah, I gotta make sure I have my camera with me, or make sure it's charged the night before, you know, make sure I have an SD card in there so it's ready to go. I've gotten places I've gotten places and realized, oh my gosh, I forgot my SD card, dude. What are you doing? I'm like, damn it.
Yeah, you've got a P900, haven't you?
Yeah. I got it last May, in May 2018, and I specifically got it to start testing all the stuff I've been watching on YouTube for the last 2 years. I was like, you know, I'm gonna test this stuff for myself. That's kind of like what everybody talks about. That's science, right? Like go test other people's theories and share your work with the public and with your peers, and that's how you eventually kind of like come to conclusions, facts. So I'm like, well, I could do that. Why not? So I went and got a camera and started sharing stuff on YouTube, and my videos in the beginning suck. You know, I didn't know what I was doing. I had never made videos before.
When I first used to Mr. on Sun and Moon, when I first started making videos, they could be an hour long. I had so much to say. Oh, wow.
Yeah, some of the first ones.
Now I try and, 5-10 minutes is long enough.
Yeah. Yeah, some of the first ones I was making, I was like just sitting in my car with music playing, and like had like drawings that I would put actually I still kind of every now and again I'll still kind of like revert to that. Like, so I'm but yeah, I have a few different like styles that I like to do with making videos. I like to just experiment and like make each one a little different. And as much as I like putting out content and talking about everything, I like the art of video making too. I like the element that you can express with the video as much as you can with the content, with the flow and the music and the wording and the visual and stuff like that. It communicates on all kinds of levels. And I think that coming from being a musician and always writing music and sharing that, and then putting out videos almost with the same kind of content that I was putting into songs, the response is completely different. So that's taught me a lot about the art of video and how it in our society, how video work really has a hold on our perception, because like most of our lives we perceive through some sort of screen. Most people aren't looking beyond the screen most of the time. So a lot of our perception is controlled through our phones, our computers, TV, and media. Even you have to include media, you have to include newspapers, any kind of thing you read. So all that's being shoved in our face all the time, instead of us walking around looking at the stars and looking at the moon and observing that stuff and reading that too, because there's stuff to read within our nature and with what's going on with our sky and our stars and moon and our earth, our actual earth, not Google Earth.
I'm going to ask you a bit about that in a second, about the stars, but I don't know if Patricia wanted to add something or something. She put her microphone off.
Yeah. Sorry. I was just eating my tea and I was coughing. I'm like, oh no, I need to turn my off. No, you were saying about making sure your camera's charged up and all that lot, and I just thought I'd tell you I did that when I first got this camera that was found in my uncle's house, and it's a really big one, and it's got it's only a small zoom lens, but I thought, oh, I can take it out. Obviously, when my hands are a bit stronger and I can actually lift it off the table. But I thought, oh, when I go out, I'm going to take it with me. I'm going to make sure it's charged up. And the first time I went out, it was all ready, and I get to where I'm going. I'm like, you know what? I forgot my camera.
Oh,
Like,
oh.
I'm not used to having a big camera, and and I felt a bit self-conscious, to be honest. Thought, people thinking, why is that disabled woman taking photos? And stuff like that. And I felt a bit embarrassed, but anyway, I just thought I'd tell you that first time I'd done it, I actually forgot to set the camera with me, let alone the SD card. I'm such a klutz, aren't I?
No, that's funny. And actually, I can relate to that feeling that you have. Like if you're out there and you're like standing on the side of the road, or and you're pointing your camera up at the sky, and you do feel a little self-conscious, like, because people are like, what's that guy doing, or and I don't even think about it now, but when I was first doing it, I was like, yeah. That's funny. That's funny. You just completely forgot your camera. That's great. That's brilliant.
Yeah, bit annoying, that one. Yeah, I took a video I wanted, and it videoed it on my phone, but it didn't save the video. I was so annoyed about that.
Oh, I did that too.
What happened?
Oh my gosh, I did that too. I recorded like 5 minutes of narrative, but I didn't record it. And I looked down and I realized I hit the button, but it didn't record it. Oh,
you know what I mean, then, don't you? Yeah. Or actually on the editing, when you think, oh, it jumped on that, so you have to edit over the top, and you spend like hours editing the stuff.
Yeah.
But I also so the bit about stars. Go on, Josh, talk about the stars.
I'm here. I'm
Yeah. Josh, you all right?
I'm here. Yeah, I'm here. I'm sorry. The stars. Yeah. Wait. I was in that mode, and now I'm
Somatic.
Yeah, the schematics. Okay, schemes in the attic. Schematics. Schemes in the attic. That's what I like to think. That's what I like to think of when I think about the schematics of the stars, because they're in the attic. There's the schemes in the attic. I like playing with words a lot.
That's very good. They've done that one, Josh. Yeah, you did a few videos on it, didn't you?
Yeah, like I'll drop it in here and there to different videos that it might work with. I'll do that a lot. I'll kind of draw back from older stuff I've done, and I'm in a new place now, but these two things kind of tie together. I always kind of did that with songwriting too, like even use like a lyric from another song in another song. So it's kind of the same thing. It's all about communication. At the end of the day, it's about communication and trying to communicate with people in a genuine, honest way.
I know, it's a really crazy thing is that I try to do, well, I can't do it like Roxanne, all hats off to people who do it like that. But I was in the garage and there was this young guy sitting there, and I started talking to him, and all he kept saying was, that's your opinion. That's your opinion. That's your opinion. And I only said a few things, and he got up and he walked away.
Okay. All right, dude. Thanks. That's your opinion. That's your opinion.
Yeah. And when I first saw him, I thought, oh, he's a nice young man. And I thought, no, he isn't. But it's just the way, like anything I said, well, that's your opinion, just immediately. So you've got to get past all those kind of things, haven't you?
Yeah. You definitely got to guard the gates of your mind. You got to not let that stuff in, it's going to get in your head. You can kind of what I do with it is I channel it and use it to try to create. That's my way of exercising that kind of stuff that get the negative charges they get put in us, because they're all around us.
You don't like that bit, do you?
I'm sorry?
You don't like that bit, do you? What they're doing to us and all that. Yeah,
I don't think it's cool at all. that's there. I mean, there is a dark element to, I guess, all that, you know, and there is a dark side to like the content I put out. I do realize that there is kind of a dark side. That's why I try to kind of keep it fun and upbeat at the same time. So there's a little contrast, and like kind of to say it's okay that this stuff is going on. We, you know, we can
do your kids listen to you, or do your kids just go, oh, what's he on about?
They do. They really enjoy the stuff I put out, and they support me. They're super cool, you know, and they really just like, yeah, that's my dad, you know. I mean, he's the black sheep of the family. He's the guy. He's the funny kind of think outside the box or kind of guy, and like everybody's always known me as that quirky musician. You know, jumping around on the stage, singing crazy lyrics back.
Yeah,
you know,
I saw that. When did you still do that, Josh?
Back 20 years ago, you know, I've always been like kind of like the guy jumping around the stage, screaming and being goofy and just doing it here on YouTube in a different kind of medium now. So it's for the people that really know me. They're like, okay, that's cool. I see what you're doing. That's cool. Yeah, I mean, you're doing your thing and being honest and not afraid to like being a performer and being on stage. You got to kind of like just not be afraid of being judged, because you're just going to get judged. So it's like, yeah, whatever. It kind of fuels you in a certain way, and yeah.
You don't get too many horrible comments on your channel, do you, Josh? Or do you?
Not a massive amount either way. I would say I get more positive comments than negative. So yeah, I think my channel's nice. I don't think there's a ton of negativity in it. I really do put a lot of like positive intent into the process of making the videos and getting the footage and thinking about everything. And I try to go with the flow of kind of what's going on my channel, and I try to respond to it in a positive way, even though the content might be putting out something that is putting out truth that's like busting somebody, or you know, kind of like, well, that's kind of messed up, dude, you know, you're saying that or whatever. But at the same time, my intent behind it is to be positive and just to point out, to ask questions. Because if we don't stop asking questions, if we don't stop questioning the reality that's being presented to us, then you know, that's when we just fall back into that trap of it having control of our complete reality and how we see everything. And that's how a lot of us got here, is by questioning our reality. So that's what I try to do with my channel. If I'm right or wrong in the stuff that I'm putting out there, it's all about putting out questions and thinking beyond what even a lot of us in the truth community are already thinking about. Like, let's question it again. Let's keep questioning it, because you know, Google, YouTube, all that, they're constantly changing the rules on us. So we gotta kind of, you know, it's a chess game. You gotta know when to kind of move forward or lateral or even backwards a little bit. So it's a dance. It's a chess game, putting out content and responding and keeping it real, but keeping it also something that it has positive intent behind it, so that you're not putting out anger, you're putting out questions. And you can, it's such a mix of emotions, right? You know, it's fun though. I mean, at the end of the day, because we're talking, we're connecting.
You're quite unique, aren't you? And in your films, really. I mean, we can tell they're you, not someone else.
Yeah. There's like I haven't. A couple of people have been out with me while I'm shooting video, and I might be talking to them, and some of the audio is maybe me when I'm talking. I'm actually talking to that person. They're off camera, but yeah, all the production and all the putting everything together and all that. It's just me doing it. And
you need a team, don't you? I feel I need a team. I'm always making videos. I spend my life making videos. Sometimes they come really quickly, a couple of hours done. Most of the time, it's hours and hours. Just when you say you're doing a 10-minute video, so it'll I have to download the music because it just plays around too much. So I have to download the music. I've already made the video, and I'm about 8 minutes through, and suddenly it jumps or something. I think, oh, I've got to start again, and it just in the end it takes hours. But anyway, I just wanted to quickly say Patricia took her microphone thing off again. Patricia.
Yeah, it works. Yeah, just want to digress a little bit here, Josh. You mentioned black sheep of the family, and I just wanted to ask the chat if they thought that they would, the black sheep of the family, because I certainly do, and I was just wondering if it's if that's the sort of status quo of the ones that are outside the box. Is that why we've all sort of been awakened somehow? Just.
She's just asking.
What's she asking exactly?
Say it again.
I'm sorry.
No, it's all right. I do find it quite. People don't understand what I'm saying. No, you mentioned about black sheep of the family, and I was just
about
wondering.
The what? Wait! You cut out there. That's why it couldn't. About the what?
Family.
Black sheep of the family.
The family?
Black sheep.
Oh, the black sheep of the family. Okay. Now I'm on board with you. Go ahead.
Right. Oh, that was hard work. I'm only joking. Do you think that's probably? Do you think that might be one of the reasons why? I was asking the chat if they consider themselves the black sheep of the family, and if that was a contributing factor to why people are more awake, because they think outside the box. They're not sort of run-of-the-mill people.
Mm-hmm.
And also,
Marilyn's agreeing with you, Patricia, and Dawn says she can relate to that already in the chat room.
I just a bit of information. I like goofing about. I think I should have been an actress, but there you go. Anyway, I'm sorry about that. I'll let you carry on. I'm listening, so I might interrupt again.
No, don't. You're not interrupting.
Where did that come from? And I should have been an actress. I've never heard you say that one before.
What about goofing around? I've always had this thing from being a young child, because at the school that I used to go to, we had like plays, but we used to take it to the classroom. And one day I was Little Red Riding Hood, and I was going through, and I had to pick the flowers up and smell them. And the first one I picked it up and smelled it. The second one I picked it up and there was a load of dust. So I went, ew, like that. And everybody laughed. And I thought, that's my role in life, to make people laugh. So I'm like, I wonder if I could go on the stage and do it. But I'm too shy for that. But I do like making people laugh. So anyway, I'm going to shut up now and let you carry on. Sorry.
No, you're good.
So she was asking the question about the black sheep. Do you relate to that? Are you the black sheep basically in your family? I feel that I am. I'm the one that's different. That's why. I think black sheep just means you're different. Hello, Josh.
I'm here. Yeah, no, I was reading the chat. I want to say hi to Jewish producer Meow. I don't know how to pronounce the last one, but he's on my channel a lot with a lot of positive remarks, and like he's a super cool dude. Just wanted to say hi to him. He's in the chat. What's up?
Hello.
I appreciate everybody who comes into my channel and is positive. I think like even people who there's some people who disagree with me. Her name's Amber R, and she'll disagree with me, but still be like, dude, I love your stuff. And like, I don't, like we can, so I love that, I think that's cool. Like to just be cool and open-minded and with each other and like be nice to each other. It's okay.
Do you find it a bit difficult when all these people are disagreeing with you and they're just watching it, whereas you took your camera out or something and they didn't? Do you see what I mean? So sometimes I really feel that's why much respect to all those, like Patricia's reading this document about a case. So everybody can make comments, but until you've read the document or read this stuff, how do you know? And people are prepared to make loads of comments because it just doesn't fit when they actually haven't even looked up to see where the sun comes up or whatever.
Yeah, that can be a little frustrating. Like, yeah, like you can kind of think in your mind, like, okay, go make your own video, dude. Right? You know, go do your own work and then come back and tell me if, you know, like how like what you think. Like, but you know, it's cool, you know, everybody can kind of have their own way of trying to get to truth. And I think people who come in with a negative aspect, it might just be that they're trying to, they're seeking truth too. And maybe that's how pushing buttons is how they get there. So like, I try to, you know, I try to respect everybody's way of seeking truth. And if asking questions in a mean way is your way, I don't agree with that. But if that's your way of doing it, you know, I guess to each his own. And I don't mind if people disagree with me, but I have been like questioned on that. And I'm like, well, I do reserve the right to not like you because you disagree. I don't have to like you. You know, there's no rules to like liking somebody.
Yeah, it's hard not to like you though, Josh.
Oh, thank you.
Nice man that you are.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's nice.
We don't get too many people disagreeing on Sun and Moon anymore. I suppose maybe people know the trolls don't come in anymore. Touch wood, touch wood.
I think because you present like a platform where it's okay to like have all kinds of different perspectives come in. And I think a lot of your viewership realizes that you're not presenting a platform for people to come in and argue. You are presenting one where people can come in and communicate and discuss stuff. And it's more of a conversation room instead of a debate room. So it's like I said, it's a safe.
Gosh, God, big hug sent over. Very nice. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I perceive it. But I think most people do, you know.
Yeah, just, you know, sometimes, you know, we sit on all these hangouts with all these people. It doesn't always mean me and Patricia actually agree with everything everybody says, but we're not there for that. It's not about us. It's the platform for everyone else. So it's not about our personal opinion. We have to stay quiet whether we like it or not. And it is open up for everybody, because how the hell are we going? Oh, sorry, there you go. How the hell are we ever going to move on if we don't somehow come together?
Yeah, and like listen to people that you disagree with. I think that's healthy for us to be in a situation where you listen to somebody who you might not 100% agree with, and there might be a little piece that they said, this one little key thing that like, well, okay, because I don't mind questioning my own beliefs. Like that's how I got into the mental state I'm at, is questioning my own beliefs. So I just don't stop. And so yeah, I like listening to other people's points of views and opinions, because I actually get excited about it. I get excited when I hear somebody say that like they would think that like something, we're being lied to about something. I don't know. It's like just like the investigative side of me. I'm always want to know. So
are you always amazed that even when you say you think, oh, I've learned so much, and there's just, oh, there's even more and more and more and more. And then I think, like you said, when you said earlier on that it's okay to go back and change things, I think we've all done that. As a channel, we started off, we would say one thing, and then as we talk to more and more people, you could see that, oh wow, it's like that. And you're learning all the time. And it's okay to change your mind like that. You just don't do it in a horrible way.
Yeah, and what we do is we change our mind publicly, whereas a lot of people don't do it publicly. So you're like opening.
I think that shows strength if you can do it publicly and say, well, I'm changing that and I'm moving on. I don't know. I think that's strength because it shows everybody that we're human.
We're human. We change our mind. Our perception can change. We can come into like a new opening in our mind, a new channel. And I actually I've contemplated erasing some of my very early videos because I'm in a kind of a different place. Not totally. I mean, the foundation of where I started is still there, but like some of the branches have changed a little bit. And then I think, no, I'll just leave it all up there because it'll kind of, it's the trail of, the whole process, and it's all on one platform. And so, yeah, just leave it. And it's okay to like have some stuff you might be like, oh, I can't watch that. That's embarrassing, but yeah, whatever, leave it up. Who cares? Make fun of me. If anything, I gave you a good laugh that day, and then so I did a good deed. I gave somebody a laugh, even if they're laughing at me because they disagree with me and they think I'm a fool.
If they didn't know what it was and then they watch some of your videos, their jaws should drop off. But I'm just asking you back to, was you a bit shocked when you got that camera and realized that although it can zoom further, but in reality, it's not showing you reality when you look through the viewfinder?
Yeah. Not shocked, but definitely opened up like a new, like a new chapter of exploration of like, instead of just taking footage to get images and to capture scenes, it was more about getting footage, about testing what the camera is actually doing to our visual perspective of size and distance and speed. Those three things combined creates a very very bizarre formula for manipulating our perception of
oh, sorry, I've been corrected in the chat room by Port Kelly. We are not human. We are mankind. Sorry. When I'm saying human, I'm just meaning we've got hearts.
Yeah.
It's a bit different to the robot. What did you make of that? Like when you really realize, I mean, you're looking at it all the time, but it's like another thing. God, I've just realized the camera's not telling me the truth. Can you rely on the camera then, Josh?
Yeah. Like, so I think about that when I'm out with it, and there are certain aspects of the camera that, it's almost like, okay, so if you know that it's been designed to be flawed for you. So like with yourself, like, you have your own flaws. So you live with those flaws but you still move forward. So I know that the camera's built in with these flaws to control perception, but it's still the tool I have at hand. And so I kind of look past those flaws sometimes for some footage, and just kind of, accept that that's how it's designed. And then other times I'm like actually using the camera as a test instrument, like how, testing speed and how far things are away from us, to get a sense of the reality of more about size of Earth. I get a lot of flack for this, but I really think Earth is a much smaller construct than we're told. I think the size is hoaxed on us just as much as the shape. And
last night, Josh of Brothers, I can't remember where he was reading it from though, but basically it was saying in that bit that he was reading that the Earth basically is land, and there's not that much water. We're not, like they've put us 3/4 water. It's not. It's the other way around. There's less water, more land. That's what they're covering up, is the fact there's more land. But who can say? We can't say all that. You think they're lying about our size, that we're smaller than what they say.
Yeah. Wow. I like that there's more land than water. I will definitely check that out. I like where he's thinking on that, because that's how we have to think. We have to think. We have to reverse everything.
Everything's the other way round to what they've told us. So
yes,
if they've said there's loads of water and a little bit of land, what they're really saying is there's lots of land and less water.
Yeah, I love that I love that, because that's exactly, like, everything's reversed on us. So at the very least, maybe not everything is, but at the very least, we have to experiment with the idea of it, and we have to put stuff out there and talk about it and think about it. If it comes back that you're wrong, whatever. But if we don't ask, we'll never know. So I love that question has been out there.
The link from last night's hangout, then, Josh.
I didn't hear the beginning of your question.
Sorry. Do you want me to send you the link for last night's hangout?
Yes,
it's not that long. As I said, that Josh showed the link. So the other Josh. So we weren't on there that long, but yeah, he talked a bit about it on there. I'll find you the link.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, because that's it. Everything's the other way around.
Mm-hmm. So I experiment with Earth being smaller and the population being smaller, and just the size being smaller. That being said, it's still a very, very, very large place. It's still very, very, very big. It's just smaller than we're told. Right? That's what I try to communicate to people. It's still freaking huge, but it's smaller than the huge that we've been told. It's half the huge, right?
If that makes
sense.
That you think it's about half the size?
It's half the huge that we're told.
We're using different words now here.
Yeah, half the huge. It's still really big. It's just half the huge. Or maybe even smaller, quarter of the huge. It's definitely smaller. Just by filming the speed of planes and the sky and stuff like that, and you could start to get a sense of, okay, they're not flying as fast. They're not going 500 miles per hour. So if they're not going 500 miles per hour, but they're still going the same distance at the same amount of time, but they're actually not going 500 miles per hour, say they're going like 100 miles per hour, that just cuts your actual distance traveled into like a quarter. It makes the distance smaller if the speed is being hoaxed. If they're telling us they're going 500, okay, we'll just do it half. If they're telling us they're going 500, but they're only going 250, but it takes the same amount of time to go the same amount of distance, it cuts the distance in half. It makes Earth smaller. That's it's taken me a while to get my head wrapped around that.
You're not as far away as they say. In fact, you're only half the distance.
Right.
You're a long way away, Josh, but you're half the distance away.
Right. Right. And it's kind of it's kind of trippy. It's kind of weird to think about. It really is, but
it is.
I think it is testable. I think, it is observable. We can actually observe it with our eyes and cameras. So it's one of those things we can kind of, sort of, at least attempt to prove, as opposed to just say. And it's definitely a touchy subject for a lot of people. I noticed that I could put out like all kinds of stuff, but when I start talking about perception, it gets weird. I get some weird feedback and some weird pushback from it, and even friend loss over it. So it's some bizarre stuff to get into. Kind of messes with our own foundation of kind of our reality. Yeah. it's one of those weird ones. It's fun. It's fun. I enjoy thinking about it though, because it gets you into like 3-4 dimensional thinking, kind of like more like in a cube as opposed to in a box, you know.
So you've quite enjoyed it though, making the videos, haven't you? So it's all good stuff for you. You're eating it, aren't you?
Yeah, definitely.
So how did you get into being a flat earther then, Josh?
That would have been well, you know, like even when I was a kid, I was still kind of like I was always like, is Earth really spinning? You know, I was one of those kids that was like questioning stuff in 3rd grade and getting in trouble for that back then. I've been doing this since I was a kid, getting in trouble for it. So I maybe wasn't questioning the shape of Earth back then, but I guess like most people, when it really started to gain popularity was around 2000, 13, 14, 15, those kind of time periods was when it was like, okay, other people are thinking about this stuff. There's other people out there thinking about this on YouTube. Oh my gosh, I got like, cool. I was like, oh, cool, sweet. So I can listen to other people talk about it and like, oh yeah, I think that. Yeah, I think that. And you start getting in other channels that are like with more content and info, and it's like, oh my gosh, yes, sweet. Everybody's like talking about this alternative way to look at things, and clearly the shape is being hoaxed on us 100%, right? there's no doubt in my mind that the shape is being hoaxed.
Yeah, they are lying. Well, they're lying, aren't they? Because they're lying about what we're on. So they're lying about the shape. They're lying about everything.
Yeah. It is being hidden. It is definitely not it's not that image that NASA puts out. So, you know, when you look at that and you realize that's CGI and all that stuff CGI, that alone really keeps it always went back to why are they lying? Why are they putting out fake stuff? Why do they have to do that? You know, that's one of the big things for me is like, if they're putting out fake stuff, why? And so that's what has always kind of kept me in that, like, okay, keep questioning the shape, because what NASA's putting out is bullcrap. And if that's the authority of space and they're putting out fake stuff, then we have to look at it for ourselves then, because we can't trust that content. So we got to rethink that stuff. So yeah, that's why I've been in this flow of just looking for truth and flat Earth. I mean, it branches out into so many other subjects.
Yeah, it's so many.
Yeah,
and they all connect like a piece, like a jigsaw puzzle.
Yeah, it's a great like gateway into a whole other reality of seeing other things. As long as you don't stop. Like I think that there's definitely a campaign on YouTube, you know, to stop people at flat Earth. They don't want people to go beyond it. And so I think that's, I'm not saying it works on everybody, but I think it works a little bit, that it'll like, okay, flat Earth, that's it. That's the biggest lie. I don't have to think beyond that. And I think if you go beyond that, you start realizing, oh, wait, they're lying about free energy. They're lying about the size. They're lying about, mud fossils and what our rocks were. They're lying about, your friend said that there's actually more land than water, you know, so they're lying. Like, so there's so much beyond just flat Earth. So I don't talk about flat Earth a lot because of that, because I'm kind of like, well, I'll think about some other stuff, and you know, I'll get kind of, you know, I don't want to get stagnant or just on one subject. And
no, we've been talking about loads of things, haven't we, already?
Yeah, it's
what is it you'd like to talk about today then, Josh?
I like everything we've been talking about. This is fun. I like just vamping with you.
Yeah. So yeah, we making another video now, or do we have to wait a few weeks? I think you do them quite regularly, like me.
Yeah, I was probably doing a lot more over the like fall. You know, I was doing like almost one a day. But now it's maybe every few days. I just wait until I'm inspired. I don't force it or anything. And okay, now I'm in this, like, I'm in I never make a video when I'm in an angry place in my head. I always wait, or, you know, or even a frustrated or tired or anything. I wait until I'm just like, I feel happy and okay, now I'm going to do this and have fun and create this and hopefully communicate with some people and connect and find some sort of positiveness out of all of the negativeness that we all kind of have to sift through, you know.
Yes, and try and make sense for it to the people.
Yeah, and for ourselves. Yeah.
So what's your next video going to be about then?
I have no clue. I don't plan them out. Sometimes I do, but usually it's like all my kind of thoughts are always in my head, and so a lot of times what will dictate what I'll actually produce as a video will be maybe what I went through during that day, and it might have changed my mode from, oh, I was thinking about planes floating with helium, and then all of a sudden my mode will change, and all of a sudden I'm thinking about what they're doing in zoos.
Yes. Do the bit about helium.
The helium?
Yeah, the helium bit.
Yeah. Throwing questions out there, just to experiment with the idea that helium is used in airplanes, in the wings and the tires, stuff like that, and just experimenting with researching what helium actually does, and liquid hydrogen, and all the different gas elements, and kind of how our atmosphere works. Our atmosphere being frequency layers, and just trying to piece that together and do the research and do the experiments.
Yeah, in your last video, you were actually out asking someone, weren't you? But
yeah.
Where had you gone?
I'm sorry?
Where had you gone?
What was that video? Where?
It was just like, it's probably.
Yeah. I would. There was a few locations that I'd hit. It was a air museum, and it was also an airship, like a blimp hangar, and I think those are the only two that I used in that one. But yeah, I travel all over within 100-mile radius of where I live all the time, getting footage of different locations, like, that I put in. There might only be like 10 or 15 seconds that I'll use in a video, and I might have spent literally a whole day driving to that place, filming an hour and a half of actual video, and driving maybe to another place and getting back, and then 10 or 15 seconds of actual footage will get used. But I compare it to, like, when you're like a kid and like you're gonna play with like your like action figures or your Hot Wheel cars or something, and you set up the whole scene, and you set up the track, or you set up the fort or whatever, and all that. And then when you actually start to play, it's like, okay. So for me, it's about that journey and traveling and going and doing it and taking it all in for myself mentally while I'm there in that moment. And
yeah, well, you've got to understand it, you know. So if you're going to explain it back for a start, haven't you? You've got to be able to show it as well as say it almost, haven't you?
Yeah, you got to be able to like show it through energy, through the intent of like okay, so I edited that little clip and I made sure it had this tone and these words and this part of this song playing over this at this time, so that it has that communication through what energy you're putting into it too. I think that transmits just
that of the music can make or break the video just when you put a certain bit of music.
Yeah, I even waiting, like when I'm pressing the buttons on my keyboard, and before I hit like save or upload or enter, before I hit that final button, I wait until I am in like the complete right energy. So all the energy that I'm putting into hitting that final stroke of, you know, the instrument, like I look at things musically. So it's about that intent in your rhythm. When you play a guitar, it's about your flow and your rhythm and your energy into it. So I look at that when I'm actually going live with something.
You have me on the edge of the seat with your voice when you're explaining and then we go somewhere, and then oh, I'm on the edge with Josh.
Yeah.
Do you know that you're doing that, or is it just you've got a nice voice? I mean, people either like your voice or they don't like your voice, do they?
Yeah, it's just me. It's just how I go. It's just how I do it. I'm not thinking about it. It's just like this is how I communicate stuff. And yeah, I've met some people. Yeah, I mean, some people do say stuff about your voice that's interesting. But you know, like I've been used to that forever, being a singer. So I've always been like on the, you know, chopping block for being a singer all these years, and singing, and so I'm used to my voice being either liked or not liked. Not a new thing that it's being liked or not liked as a talking voice, which is weird. The whole other, never been a talker like publicly. I've always been a singer publicly. So to do it through talking is a whole other kind of performance and energy. It's been a learning time for me.
You had to get your words out some way, didn't you? You used to sing them, now you talk them.
Yeah. That's it. It's been a learning process.
So, Josh, on your channel, so we live in a helium world?
Yeah. Do we live in a helium world? Well, like there's so much helium in our, that's kind of common knowledge. There's so much helium in our atmosphere. Was it like the second most abundant gas? Something like that.
Really?
And stars create helium, and just according to, Google and all that, helium is a very abundant resource. And so why not it be utilized as something that we're using for flight and our actual commercial jets? Why not utilize the most abundant free gas in our atmosphere? Why not utilize it? And
they don't want to do that, do they? They wanted to make all this man-made stuff and then sell it to us rather than using the natural stuff that was already there.
Right, and they're using the natural stuff. They're making all that man-made.
They turned around though and said, "Hey, everybody, the air is free energy." People just wouldn't get it.
Yeah, and it is the air, it's the atmosphere, and now I'm kind of like thinking, like branching into like more thought into it, being other kinds of gases being involved and being useful and utilized. Maybe it's a couple different elements, and the turbines interact with the helium in a certain way. And so it's just thinking about stuff, because they're not going to tell us. So you have to like just like experiment with thought on it and throw it out there, see what happens. And here we are talking about it, and like I actually talk about it with my son a lot. He's very mechanically thinking, good at math and all that kind of stuff. So I could like bounce stuff like about planes off to him, and he understands like thrust and all that stuff. So he, and then I can get talking to him and like, oh, whoa, yeah, I got to write that down. So yeah.
Hey, what about this one? Native American Indians are descendants of giants. The Wild West is a well, you know what that word is?
Yeah. The area I live in, I think the native, one of the breeds, one of the very many breeds that were here. I mean, giants definitely roamed Earth before the last, flood or mud flood or whatever changeover event happened. There were giants, and there's evidence of them everywhere in the rocks. And, I have loads of videos on that on my channel, and actual footage that I've gone out and gotten. But yeah, my area that I live in specifically has a lot of Native American heritage to it. And there are monuments all over my town, and then actually all across America, called the Trail of the Whispering Giants. And they're these large wooden Indian statues that are like all over the country. And it's, to me, hiding truth in plain sight, that that certain breed of Indian was giant. They were giants. And, so there would be descendants of that at some point. But that's only one breed of the giant creatures that roamed around here. Before that, that's, you can get into all kinds of different other breeds, but I picked that because I live near all that, and I can go find them and share the real images of them and talk about it and think about it. And then the Wild West being a hoax, our time periods are definitely being messed with.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, for sure. The 1800s.
Yeah, sure.
If
George, what about this one then? Day and night is a hoax.
So
I said that word.
Right.
Day and night.
I use that word. It's like it has multiple meanings to me. So I don't actually mean that they're actually lying about day and night. It just mean that they're hoaxing us in ways with the camera and stuff like that. And so that one, I just happened to get footage of where if you zoom in and you get different light and stuff like that, it turns the daylight to night sky and stuff like that. So you could also get into how we're being lied to about how the sun and moon work, right? And how our light,
about that, haven't I? Which you'll have to look at.
That the sun doesn't actually set; it moves away from us. So our day and night is being hoaxed to us in that way too. So it's just kind of like a broad title, just kind of like thinking about how day and night really is, and how the sun and moon really work, and then also how cameras are. I threw in a little bit of camera, how it's being manipulated and changing day to night and back to night. And that footage I was out getting, that was like that most recent super moon. The moon was really close, and the camera couldn't show it as much as the eye could. But yeah, it was beautiful, cold evening.
Ooh. So I've got my dog on my lap. Then the dog nearly slipped off, and my iPad nearly went on the floor. Oh, no, she's on the. Come here.
Woo. You caught it?
Yeah, I caught both of them, the dog and the iPad. This is the dog making a noise. Shh, floss.
Nice.
Yeah, I was going to look just like through. What about that one? The size of time is an ego away.
Oh, that's been
he's got to remember which videos.
Yeah, no, that's been a minute. I was definitely talking about perception in that one. Let me see. The atmosphere is a vessel. Sorry. Oh yeah, I was getting footage of. I was really starting to kind of. I knew I was going to be putting out my mud fossil videos, and I was going to be talking about time periods, and that's what that video was kind of preluding. And I was getting footage of that river that I was talking about that I live by, and it's actually changing direction in the beginning of that video, going from south to north, or maybe north to south. I can't remember exactly, but yeah, it changes direction from down to up. Very bizarre. And then
What
yeah,
about that one then? The sky is flat.
You know, from the experiments that I go out and I get, we know that like when we go up into the upper atmosphere, it's flat. It's a flat sky. And even though we might live under a dome, the sky itself is not Earth. The sky is a separate thing from Earth. They're two different worlds, basically, and how I see it. And so I see the sky as a flat realm. And you've been in a plane and you could see the clouds. They're all flat on the bottom. They're poofy on the top, flat on the bottom. And I just see our sky, our sky is a whole other world aside from Earth, and it's just two different places. And what goes on in those atmospheres are completely alien to what goes on down here on Earth. And so I'm always getting my camera up into that sky and trying to think about it a lot. I think so many answers to like kind of how we're being lied to about free energy and stuff like that is all up in the sky.
One of the first conversations I had with Patricia was about the clouds. And she just said, yeah, but the clouds, they just go on and on and on and on. And they're flat.
Yeah.
Well, the clouds are fluffy on the top. What we mean is that line where the clouds meet, whatever it is, they're flat.
Right.
And to us, the line of where they meet is flat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, I went to Genoa a few years ago with my daughter, and it was the end of March. And what it was is that we flew, and from England until the Alps, it had cloud. There was cloud all the way, and the cloud lifted when we got the other side of the Alps. But that's thousands of miles. A couple of thousand miles probably of cloud.
Yeah, but so what if those thousands of miles are actually half the distance? So it's not that far. Like
yeah, it's so intriguing. And do you know something else? A bit I like you did when was it you flying, or did you just use someone's footage? But basically, when you looked at the land below you and the towns and everything, it was a computer.
That was footage that a friend of mine, the YouTube channel, Jason Maggard, sent me footage of that. He's like, dude, you'll love that. This is right up your alley. I'm like, oh yes, this is sweet. Yeah. He was flying over Vegas. So that's Las Vegas. And yeah, it's the motherboard. Cities are motherboards harvesting atmospheric energy and conducting energy. They're motherboards conducting energy. A city, electricity.
Yeah, look, it's so apparent looking out of that plane window there, because I think you even put a computer chip thing in there, didn't you? You put the board in there as well. It's like it's just so obvious.
Oh yeah, I compared it to
about that they actually did the land, the towns like it, like oh my goodness, do they know what they're doing?
Yeah, it's like this Earth itself at this flat Earth is just this, this big motherboard, Mother Earth, motherboard. And it's they have all the secrets to architecture, which is tech. It's technology. It's architecture is technology, and they know those secrets have been. That's what they're really hiding is the ancient architecture and how to design cities so that they conduct energy. That's what the pyramids were. They were energy conductors. They were part of the motherboard of that time era. And then, some sort of catastrophe happened and they're still standing or whatever. But, so that's why a lot of the old architecture and all the buildings from like hundreds of years ago or whatever, like they're tearing them down. They're tearing down that old stuff. They're basically upgrading.
They can't wait for all that lovely stuff. No, they want it all gone, don't they? So that we have no history to go back to.
Yeah, so we don't see that. So we don't figure it out. Oh wow, those churches all conducted energy. Those were, that's what those were. Those were the what are those called? Those I can't think of the word. Power plants. Those were the power plants of those days, and figuring all that out. And in the same breath, they want to upgrade. They want to upgrade the system. They're going from analog to digital.
Oh yeah, you did that in one of your videos, didn't you? AD and BC, and what was it? Yeah. What was that bit?
BC, instead of before Christ, it's before computers.
Yes, that's it.
And then AD is instead of after death, it's analog to digital. And then I said Jesus was an electrician. And he had his crew with him, his 12 his IT guys, 12 workers, and they came and maybe the sky world or whatever, the other realm, and came and upgraded the system, changed over.
Yeah, so you just have to read things properly, don't we?
Yeah, and some of it's just thinking and having fun with thought and thinking about stuff, because thinking about weird stuff and talking about it will actually propel you back to reality.
Oh my goodness, the dog made me jump. I'm so sorry. Come it. My dog's barking. Get it, Floss. Oh my God, she's never barked on a hangout before. So sorry. Hang on a minute. What's going on? She doesn't like something. She's never barked in that house before. Oh, it's because you came in. She knew. Floss. She's a little guard dog. Okay, back to my hangout. So Ellie's boyfriend. Yeah, I'm okay, thank you. Ellie's boyfriend came in. Oh, but she knew there was someone in the house. Ooh, sorry about that, guys. Should be okay.
That's
now.
okay. That's okay.
Floss, you're a guard dog, are you? It's good to know. Right, she's never ever done. I've never heard her bark before. Mind you, Ellie's got a new boyfriend who let himself in. So, he's let himself in. So, there you go. Sorry about that, guys. I've got the dog on my flap now. So, what were you talking about, Josh? Sorry.
Oh no, it's okay. Can you hang on a second? I'm going to get a glass of water real quick. Talk to Patricia.
Oh, I don't know if Patricia's still there. Yeah, Patricia. Patricia, you go get your drink, Josh.
I'll be right back.
I'll hold the fort.
Just 30 seconds.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. No one's ever heard Floss bark before. She's always here.
28, 27, 26. I'm just counting down for him to come back. No, I'm only joking.
Yeah, that was our first conversation, wasn't it, Patricia, about the clouds?
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
Do you remember that?
I do. Like it was yesterday.
And I remember, like, I can't remember how it happened, but someone said, well, someone might be interested. Patricia, you came through someone else, and then I was talking to you, and you said, well, I don't know, I might. Yeah, I might. And then before you know it, you're part of Sun and Moon.
Yeah, I'm like an old fixture and fitting, aren't I?
You're more than that, Patricia. Yeah, she might seem quiet to you, but like I say, I talk to Patricia all the time, so she probably goes, oh no, it's Karen again.
How did you guess? No.
And do people know me and Patricia? Like, she's the 13th of June, and I'm the 14th of June. Our birthdays. We've got one day apart on our birthdays.
Different years though, Karen, aren't there?
Yeah, different years, but not many different years, but different years. Yeah.
Yeah. Probably why we get on.
Well,
Mind
do you know
you,
what? We're both Geminis. They say Geminis either get on or they don't get on, but we do get on. So, yeah, Patricia
mind you. Sorry, go on.
Patricia's the more quieter one out of the two. Aren't you, Patricia?
Oh, did you want me to say something? No, I'm joking. I pretty much get on with everyone because I'm quite open-minded. You know what I mean? So
I just think you're the quieter one. You're the calmer one. I'm the one. Sometimes you probably I pick with. Sometimes, you know, these little things happen, and I'm going, "Oh, Patricia!" Ah! Patricia's never really like that. She's always dead calm. Aren't you, Patricia?
yeah, I suppose so.
Have you got to 30 yet? Is Josh back?
Hi.
Oh no, I've lost count. Oh yeah, I've got to 30.
101, 102, 103.
I'm here. Hi.
Do you find, Josh, where you are in your part, do you find that a lot of people are waking up, or you feel a bit lonesome in the big town?
I feel a bit lonesome in the town, but most of my friends accept me for who I am, and like they're cool with me. Most people realize that I'm not putting out like mean stuff. I might put out negative stuff, but not mean. So most people are cool with. But yeah, not a lot of people willing to go there. But you know, I think the younger generation around my area is the younger kids are. They're a little more open-minded.
Do you ever sort of like talk to people about it when you're out on your hikes and things, or do you not talk about it to other people?
I read the moment. I would never try to in a one-on-one like ever kind of like, oh, you need to think this way. I just I go with the flow. Some people are a little more like, some avenues, some people might want to talk. You might run into that one person who thinks 9/11 was a hoax, or like, okay, we can talk a little bit.
I know, and I'm not laughing about 9/11. I'm just laughing about the fact that I just never get that. They understand that, and like some of my children, they'll go, "See that? That's wrong. That's wrong. This thing's wrong." And like other not hoaxes, but how they
yeah.
Companies doing this, companies doing that. So they go, look at this, but not quite Yoda yet. They couldn't say flat Earth, but they see all the other things, but don't see that it's even bigger than that. It's bigger and bigger and worse and worse.
Yeah. They're willing to like not trust all this and all that and the whole government, but NASA, yeah, they believe.
Yeah,
like, dude, come on now. Yeah, I think you really have to realize how much NASA is lying to get past everything. I think that's kind of like
like how people could believe that Tesla car's up there, like that is just sick.
That's like that was like, I remember that it was about a year and a half ago or something like that. Maybe just a year ago, just a little over a year ago that was. And I remember I was kind of quiet on Facebook about stuff, even though I was like kind of already aware of a lot of stuff. I was quiet. I kind of maybe hinted at certain things, but I wasn't direct. That morning I saw that story and that was it. That was the final straw. I was like, all right, I'm done. I'm not staying quiet anymore, because if you guys don't see that this is bull crap, I don't know. I don't even know what to think, man. Come on now. This is clearly faked. So I remember that was like that when that happened, that was like really got me going on Facebook, and like, and then it branched and eventually into YouTube. But yeah, that was like that was like the trigger for me. Like, all right, I'm done. I'm not keeping my mouth shut anymore. That is ridiculous. That car in space. Come on now.
I know, that's it. You got to laugh, haven't you? Otherwise you go crazy with the stupid things they're showing us.
Right. It gets ridiculous at a certain point. It's almost like they're doing it just to like make fun of us, like, or to see how far they can go.
The more we've got into flat Earth, the worse they've got.
they just like want to see how far they can go. Like, it's like a joke to them. Like, can we actually pull this off? No, we could we? All right, let's try. They like sit around and joke up, like they have to be laughing. They have to be laughing hysterically when they post that crap. They have to.
They bought it.
They have to be sitting back in their chair with their hands behind their head, just cracking up that that the masses of people are buying it. They have to laugh about it. They cannot be sitting there feeling bad. They're not doing it. You know what I mean? You know, they're laughing.
People writing it or like thinking about it to do it. Like, well, this is what's going to happen. We're going to put this out because they're going to think this, but really we want that.
And the thing is what they've gotten everybody to do is hate the people who are pointing it out. Like, you have people like trying to point it out, like putting out content saying, we're trying to like show you that they protect the person that's lying to them over the person who's trying to tell them the truth. That's a master magic trick that they have on everybody. That's how their magic is working on everybody. It
is magic. That is exactly the word. What they've done to us, what they've done to make everybody believe that we're on some ball spinning through space and we've been to the moon and all that crap and the rest of it is magic.
It's freaking magic.
Magic. They believe it. We believed it. I mean, we can sort of laugh at the people who do believe it, but we were there once. Most of us. There's going to be those that never believed it, and there's going to be those that woke up years ago. But the majority of us, it's more recent, a few years ago. But like now, it's just hard to believe I ever thought that stuff was. It's just amazing. It's magic. Yeah. It has to be. Television. Once you turn the television off, your life starts to change.
Oh yeah, get rid of cable. It is such a scam. Get rid of that. I even like at night. I turn my phone off. I turn my computer, shut it down, and I unplug my Wi-Fi from the wall, from the Ethernet and everything. I disconnect at night. Just turn it all off.
Feel safe, locked in your house with no outside world there.
And it is comforting. It is very comforting. It feels like it feels like a warm fire on a cold night. It does. Disconnecting from everything at night, you feel like safe. It's nice. And then, you know, plug back in the next day and go through the matrix again. And then at night, turn it all off and go into the real world, the dream world.
Yeah, you'll go to bed thinking in the next video. So where you work, Josh, do you talk about this where you work or not?
No, I don't. You know, there's a time and place, and that's I work for a business that is not my own, and that's not my place to talk about my point of view with people. That's my place to talk about the point of view of what the people want to talk about there.
Anyway, you can't wait to finish her work to run home to start the next video.
Oh yeah, it's all brewing in the back of my head, sure, but you know, there's a time and place, and I designate that time and place in my house. That's where I do most of my talking about it. Outside of my house, only with like-minded people that I might know, or which are very few, but um, generally, no. I'm okay talking about regular life stuff with people because it's okay to connect on multiple levels. That it's okay. It's but you know it is a balance between not letting your vibration change. So it's kind of like holding your pitch in both worlds. It is tricky. It's tricky, but that's kind of that's what I go for. But yeah, I work in a really cool place too, and like a lot of really cool people come in. I work in a record store, a vinyl record store, and so that's kind of cool because I'm surrounded by a lot of the truth and all the music, and then get to listen to music all the time and hear new stuff and think about new things. And
lots of people just still buy music because I don't buy music, so people buy music a lot still.
Yeah, especially in the vinyl world, the vinyl records. A lot of people buy
People
vinyl
back
records.
to records, are they?
Yeah, they like the albums. I made a video on the record being related to how the earth and the sky and the stars, and how music is connected to the tones of the stars, and how they got the schematics, the idea for a record and how it works with the needle and the sound going through it, and each track is like a different astrological sign, and each song and rotates, and this whole thing. And I think they're related, the music and the vinyl records, how they figured out that technology by observing how the stars work and the tones and stuff like that. So
yeah, well, I resonate with lots of your videos, Josh. I really appreciate the way that you try and show us and talk to us.
Thank you.
We've been going, well, we were a little bit late starting, but you've been here for about 2 hours now. Do you want to go on a little bit longer, or do you think that's enough time? What do you want to do, Josh?
We just talked for 2 hours. I didn't even realize it.
Well, nearly. We've been talking for 2 hours. Remember, we were gassing before we went on air.
Yeah. Wow, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, we could stop here. I think we. Yeah, let's not bore anybody, right?
Oh God, you're not boring. You've got such a when you do your what's the word? Is it commentary? When you do that, you have an amazing, or what do you call it? Is it oratorical voice? You just
I just try to.
Josh is the kind of voice you want to listen to when you're going to bed. Yeah, sorry, Josh.
That's funny. I just
meant in the nicest possible way.
Thank you.
Okay, then we'll finish now, and you're ending the role of Josh's. We had authentic Josh, authentic intent Josh, Josh X, Josh Flat Earth Brothers, and now Josh Stone, all one day in a row. It's quite amazing, that, isn't it?
So funny. Yeah, that's
anyway,
so funny.
It is. Thanks to everybody in the chat room who's been listening in, and thanks also, Josh, because I know your time's quite precious, and you came on. Because you work, don't you, and stuff, and.
Oh no! Yeah, this was your time. I scheduled this to talk with you, and I've all about this today. You're not taking my time. You are my time today.
Oh, and you're back Wednesday then to be on that hangout with us to Thrive and Survive.
Yeah, let me know what time, and if I can join in, that'd be awesome.
Well, it's the same time, 9 o'clock. It will be on Wednesday night, UK time.
UK. That's
so that will be That's the same time we started today.
4 o'clock. Yeah, I might not be able to, but listen, I'll jump in the chat and listen because I'll be at work. But I can usually get on the chat and maybe listen a little bit here and there in between.
Are you working then?
Yeah, I'll be at work at that time, here in U.S. time, and I'll be at work until 8 p.m. my time, which will be
10, 11, 12. Oh, Josh.
1 a.m. your time, I think.
Oh, so you won't be able to make the hangout, will you?
Yeah, I won't be able to, but I can listen in. I'll say hi, I'll chime in on the chat and say hi.
Oh, well, that's good then. Well, you have to come back on soon anyway. And yeah, it's been really great fun talking to you. We'll say goodbye off air, you and me, but on air, thanks very much to everybody. Thanks a lot, Patricia. And we're back. Well, there she is. See Patricia first.
Patricia.
All right.
Patricia.
I just wanted to say, I love you all, and I love you, Josh, and I love you, Karen, and take care. And thanks for coming.
Patricia, and love you too, Josh. Love everybody in the chat room too. So we're not here tomorrow. We're back on Tuesday with Bling Bling. So see you Tuesday.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, darling. Bye.